I made these tables. So these tables, you lift up, they drop down. I used to have the tables spun so they had a center axis up here, so I could do thoracic adjustments by tilting them into lateral flexion. But I wasn't using it enough, and I just started spinning people around. But this base also used to tilt. That's why if you look at the bottom, it has like a center pole. But over time, I made it just so that it lifts up, so I do lateral flexion stuff. And when I started practicing, these tables were this wide, and every 10 years I made them 4 inches wider because
humans,
the population's gotten wider. But I can't believe it, my original tables were only this wide. But back then I was in my 20s, and every person I treated was in their 20s. So now my patient population's older.
Len and I always debate, like, in the thoracic spine, how to get lateral flexion, you know, and he does a sideline with like a drop piece where he drops on it, but I've played around quite a bit too or like if you just do an A to P supine move, are you clearing it out, or do we need specific lateral flexion moves? Right. Is the raging debate, you know, right. So.
Well, Lynn had that theory. He said it's like putting a rope on a door. No matter which way you hit it, you're still going to put motion in the door.
Exactly.
Now, yeah. I'll do a wall adjustment where I lift them up and put them in lateral.
Put them in lateral flexion into saddle force.
Yeah. And then they turn and turn. But I made a small version because an early paper came out that showed asymmetry of lumbar spine rotation predicted injuries. So I made this after some trial and error. Come over here, I just want to show you this.
Where do you want me?
You stay like this, just like that. Now I just hold this still, and you see the number on the bottom. Turn, cross your arms in front of you. Turn to the right as far as you comfortably can. And it's 11 degrees. Now turn to the left as far as you can. And you got this 16 degrees. So you can measure asymmetry with that. But it turns out that asymmetric lumbar rotation was not that predictive of injury. But if you put it here and here, it's predictive of injuries in shoulder and throwing athletes. You know, if you couldn't turn this way,
sure.
Then that shoulder. If a person, usually they have like a pair of shorts on and pull the shorts down. I put the top of this little butterfly thing next to the PSISs, and then base on the sacrum. Then I touch the dot to the lumbar spine. Then I look at what number readout is there. Now cross your arms in front of you. Now arch back as far as you can. Then I retouch that spot and measure that number. And then you do the same thing with forward bending. Now bend forward, touch your toes. And it measures how far the lumbar spine flexes, and now come back, and how far it extends. Come back towards me even more. So you get a movement ratio of flexion extension. So I'll get people who have no extension, say they've got disc problems. I'll do McKenzie, I'll do mobilization, manipulation, and you'll see a gradual increase in the range of extension. And this, if someone doesn't come in for a year, you get the same number to a degree. Whereas that can vary, rotation can vary from day to day, depending upon how tight it We're gonna have these made up one of these days. You guys do anterior reach?
I have.
Super easy. They hook you up with these things where you gotta like get that star excursion thing. It's expensive. So I'll just get next to an athlete. I'll just put this right next to their toe. Then this little sliding bar's got a couple of ridges on the bottom.
4 centimeters, that's the key, and then
you know everything, man. What the heck are you even coming here for? So you balance on your either foot, toe on it, and now, slowly push that away and you can't kick. And then they just push out. Tests that take 2 seconds that are predictive. And that's all you got?
I don't know. Now it's a game.
Toe has to be up to it.
Right that's there. All you got.
Yeah. And 4 centimeter asymmetry is predictive of injury.
In 2 separate papers, too.
Nice. And they do anterior reach, posterior lateral reach. Anterior reach is my favorite, predicts ankle injuries. Predicts lower extremity injuries in general. I like it because it takes 2 seconds. Beautiful. Nice. Very symmetric. Talking about how soleus predicts success with running. I've been doing a ton of soleus exercises, like 4 times 25 or 4 times 24 for volume, but just trying to get soleus to increase in volume because I never paid attention to it for success in sprinters, but it takes 8 times body weight.
Can you just measure it, or is there?
It's hard because it generates so much force. So I'll have the person, I'll measure soleus endurance. I'll have a person bend their knee 45 degrees, and gastroc pretty much shuts down when the knee is flexed 45. And then I'll have them do like a single leg raise and count how many they can do. You know, a good athlete will be able to do 25, or they'll be symmetric. When it's an issue, they're not symmetric at all. The person will be able to do 5 on one side. And otherwise,
What's up, man? I'm Taylor Kramer. It's great to meet you. How are you,
Yeah,
man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, good to
I'm
see you,
doing
man.
good, really
Yeah,
good.
what a pleasure. Thanks for entertaining us.